inside week for ES last week? Is this a lower high before the next leg down, or consolidation before new all-time highs? Let's talk about weekly pivots and the weekly plan for trading the week of August 10th. Last week, we saw a rally trend week after putting in a swing low at 62.40 and a look below and fail on the prior Friday. Now, this was actually a look below and fail of the prior range at 62.55 and a weekly pivot at a weekly swing low at 62.41 that we swept on Friday, and starting Sunday night and Monday, we got continuation of this setup this week, actually putting in the low for the week on the Sunday open. We discussed last week how selling 220 points straight down into the prior range lows and sweeping a swing low was likely going to make it difficult to see direct continuation down, and again we did see the low of the week set on that Sunday open. So the main pivots we were watching last week were 62.55 to hold, 63.32 to backtest, and 63.73 resistance. So sellers needed to defend 63.32 and 63.73 to prevent a reversal up, and buyers needed to clear 63.73 to see a run back towards all-time highs. Now these pivots did provide many great trading opportunities throughout the week. So holding the look below and fail on the Sunday open, strong overnight rally Sunday night and into Monday that went directly into 63.73, and this 100-point move direct into resistance was rejected. So pretty good short opportunity at 63.73 early in the week last week, and this week we actually saw this pattern of overnight kind of glowbacks and overnight rallies, and then long liquidation and red sell-off days during RTH, and then we repeated this several different times. After the 63.73 rejection and the sell-off day on Tuesday, we ended up seeing this kind of evening short covering overnight rally into the next day again, and then repeated this one more time on Thursday, selling off and having a pretty strong red day for Thursday as well. So pretty big pattern of really strong squeezes overnight, long liquidation, set a low, short covering, long liquidation, set a low, and short covering multiple times this week. One of the biggest moments this week was Tuesday, Wednesday, when sellers were unable to hold below 63.32 after rejecting 63.73. So being unable to hold below this, buyers being able to reclaim this and then flip 63.32 to bid was a strong turning point in the week. Buyers being able to hold this on a back test allowed them to see continuation back up to 63.73 and then clear 63.73 to push back up into the prior week highs. Into the end of the week, buyers were finally able to sustain above 63.73. It took several attempts to be able to sustain above this, but after being able to clear 63.73 and actually hold this on a back test and flip this to support on a back test is what allowed buyers to push back up into the prior highs at 64.22. As far as trade setups this week, there were a lot of opportunities on both sides. Shorts into 63.73 or getting short on long liquidations after parabolic rallies worked pretty well. So seeing this rally directly into 63.73, you can either short this directly or you can watch for the kind of overnight shelf here and then the failure of that shelf where the long liquidation began, getting short underneath that failure around 63.60, or the same thing we saw on the second rally from Tuesday, Wednesday into Thursday, where we rallied above 6400. We tried to hold a little shelf, and then the failure of that shelf saw another long liquidation. So short opportunities there and several long opportunities as well. The best long setups this week were on failed breakdowns, starting with the Sunday night failed breakdown underneath 62.55, the failed breakdown of the prior day low at 63.15, and then another one on the end of Thursday, kind of late shorts into the lows here after holding 63.32, putting in a failed breakdown of the intraday low at 62.44, which started the next rally into the current weekly highs. A few other opportunities to get long after buyers reclaimed and flipped key pivots like 63.32, being able to reclaim and flip this to bid here on Wednesday, and then the same thing Thursday overnight after being able to clear 63.73, finally bid that, flip that to support. So some of these back tests and flipping these areas also provided a few other long opportunities. Now let's talk about the plan for trading next week. Early in the week, 63.73 is going to be an important pivot for buyers to defend in order to see a direct attempt to new new all-time highs. So buyers were finally able to hold above this and flip it to bid on a back test. So failure there can see another long liquidation and reversion back towards 63.32. Larger reversion if 63.32 fails. Now buyers need to sustain above Friday's highs in order to try to continue towards 64.34, 64.55, and all-time highs. Sellers are going to want to work back down towards 63.73 and find acceptance below there for reversion back down the range. So top setups that I will be watching this week will be longs on a back test of 63.73, failed breakdown of the Thursday low at 63.34, shorts into 64.55, or on the failure of 63.73 areas I'll be watching for shorts. Now we're still inside a large range, so there can be action in both directions on this, but I would say that buyers control as long as above 63.32 and 63.73 especially. Now that's the trading plan for ES for this week. If you want to trade live with us every day, join us at Trade with Insight.